didn't believe me because she didn't want to believe me. She didn't want to believe that people would hurt me just because she told one little white lie. She didn't want to believe that her predators would be predatory towards me too. She didn't want to believe that the things that Tim Beeson had done to her, that he was threatening to do worse to me and my family, and that I had to be afraid. There's a song, it's called Her Last Words. It was on Natalie Bollinger's playlist. Natalie Bollinger told me about her predators. She told me about the horrible things that they did to her. She told me about her dad. She told me about her Uncle Troy. She told me about Tim Beeson. She told me about one of her ex-stepmothers and her mother, the abuse that they endured and also the abuse that they put her through. It wasn't the physical or sexual abuse that led to Natalie Bollinger's suicide. You guys talk about what a horrible person her father was for doing that to her. You don't stop to think that it was her mother and her friends who neglected her when she needed them the most. I knew exactly what Natalie Bollinger was going through because I have to go through it. I've always had to go through it. That's the thing, is you talk about how horrible it was that she had to live such a rough life. And then you tell me that I deserve the abuse. You accuse me of being on drugs. She accused me of slandering her name. She claimed I was on drugs. I wasn't. I did everything that I could to try to take a fucking drug test. To try to get someone to fucking help me. I'm being harmed over slander. People are hurting me. They're threatening my fucking life. God damn it. They're assaulting me and threatening to kill my friends and family. Stop telling me what to do and what to feel and what to think. Stop talking over me. Stop sending me to other people. God damn it. But they wouldn't listen. Do you know what it's like to get a promise that you're going to get help? To have Joanna Taylor Smith, months before Natalie was fucking killed, promise that she's going to help, that she's going to call, that she's going to listen, that she's going to set it up to have coffee, that she's going to let Maddie Bowen know what's going on, that I'm being hurt, and ask her to stop. But Joanna Taylor Smith never tried. She fucking wasted her time and mine. She got Natalie killed just as much as any of the rest of you. Every single one of you that I went to for help. Step one, go to your friends and family. And step two, turn it in together. For over a year, Natalie's friends and family, and Natalie herself, as the evidence well shows, did in fact threaten, harass, intimidate me, assault me, threaten my fucking life repeatedly, threaten my friends and family's lives, slander my name over and over, and the things that they claimed were slander, all proven to be true. What is it that Natalie claimed was slander? Huh? So after she made that last public post, that was the exact same thing that she had done in Virginia. She fucking slandered my name and made false accusations because she didn't want to get in trouble. She didn't want people to think less of her. She didn't want to be honest because she was fucking embarrassed. Did she stop for one moment to consider the things that she put me through? With her fucking emotional goddamn roller coaster. Do you know what that did to me? I'm told to go to my friends and family for help. But when I go to friends and family for help, Natalie Bollinger gets to pretend that I'm stalking her. No, I'm asking for help! I'm asking for help! I'm asking for help! You have no idea how many assaults I have fucking taken because you don't care! It's not because I didn't try to show you! It's not because I did not try to get help! All of the evidence showed that non-stop I have tried to get help! On Natalie's final public post, when she was pretending that she was the victim in all this, well, she was wanting to sell to herself because her predators had fucking drugs. She wanted to sell this fucking fantasy that none of these people would ever fucking harm me over this shit. When she made that final public post, and her friends were getting on there and accusing me of being a fucking pedophile and shit like that, saying, oh, he looks like a pedophile, he looks like a pedophile. They asked her if we ever dated or had sex. No, we never did. She typed, ew, that's gross. But the fact is, she thought she was in love with me, and that's what the fucking evidence showed. I wasn't able to see my friends like Ed Simmons because I was too broke. It's not that I didn't want to see them. But here's the thing, you guys didn't want to find out what was going on, did you? You just let it fucking happen. By the time you realized that blowing me off had resulted in people being fucking dead, no wonder you never came forward. You're a fucking coward. No wonder you lied to me. No wonder you tried to fucking pity party me. Tried to pretend like I was a bad person for asking you to come forward. Pretending like I'm a bad person because I showed the truth. I'm not taking abuse because of things that I did. I'm not taking abuse because I'm some horrible fucking criminal. I'm taking abuse because I did not have family or friends and still do not. When I explained that to the police, they knew they could do whatever the fuck they wanted to me. That's one of their questions. And you have to answer their questions or they fucking harm you. No, I don't have any friends or family I can go to for help. I've already tried. I tried going to my friends and family for help for a whole fucking year before she was fucking killed. An entire goddamn year full of them talking about themselves, telling me that they're too busy. A whole fucking year of people threatening my fucking life and me having to depend on fucking junkies who promise that they'll help me if I go there. If I go to this place or I go to that place, or if I sell them this or give them that or trade them this or trade them that. It'd be a lot easier if I was a drug dealer, but I'm not. I got drug dealers admitting on my channel that I'm not a fucking drug dealer. Admitting that I turned down free drugs. How many of you can do that? How many of you did not turn into complete and total fucking addicts? See, that's the difference between you and me. When I quit drinking, I quit drinking. No more of this fucking wine tip bullshit for me. I'm not gonna go sit in a fucking room with a bunch of fucking crybabies who fucking bitch, whine, and moan and complain about how much they fucking feel sorry for themselves for the lives they destroyed. How much they feel sorry for themselves. Why did I never go back to another AA meeting? Because alcoholics, just like any other addict, will never, ever take responsibility for their own actions. It is always someone else's fault. Whatever it takes to hide it. Yeah, I get that Natalie was embarrassed because I posted publicly about the abuse that I was enduring. Now, on the 15th, when she was pretending that she was going to come see me and going to put a stop to it. And I let her know well, you guys got to see those messages. If you ever cared to look, they didn't post them up in your true crime network. They didn't post up the messages between me and Natalie right before she was fucking killed, did they? No, they didn't. They didn't say, oh, well, right before Natalie was fucking killed, here's the messages between her and Sean. No, they fucking didn't. I sent those. I sent those to these news places that turned out to be fucking fake news. These true crime places that are just trying to sell a fucking story for $1. I couldn't get a hold of real news. Sure, they wanted to fucking interview me, but I took the advice of my public pretenders, which was exactly the wrong thing to do. I should have told them everything that was going on about all of the fucking stalking, all of the harassment, all of the fucking abuse. But my public pretender, Amanda Balehash, did everything in her power to scare me into not coming forward about that to the media. All she ever did was help cover for my fucking predators and help destroy evidence. Amanda Balehash was rewarded by becoming a judge in the very county that Natalie Bollinger had her brains blown out in. I wonder How many cases she has presided over where she has assisted literally the officers in that county who committed felonies against me. I wonder how many times she's presided over cases where she has helped them to walk right over another homeless person. Amanda Bale Hash showed her bias because I had to call her without a fucking guardian and without a fucking advocate. She was able to march right over my fucking rights because they were able to prevent people who are obviously trying to help from speaking up, from showing up in court. Those officers got away with it. Not like it matters. Not one of my friends was a real friend. Every single one of them showed themselves to be predators. Every one of them. Natalie Bollinger tried to frame me for her death because I told the truth. She was a fucking psycho. She let her friends and family harm me over something she knew was untrue. Then again, my friends and family harmed me without finding out what was true or not. They just wanted to be hurtful. And when I'm hurtful back, they don't fucking like it. Jesus fucking Christ. That is a lot of fucking smoke. Fucking A, this shit hurts. A lot of fucking smoke. Jesus Christ. This is what I'm stuck in. This is what being stuck in public is really like. It's not that I didn't try to get help. I literally went to all the people I was supposed to go to. All the people I was sent to. For them all to do the same thing. Refused to look at evidence. I went to the police. I went to my friends. I even went to my bullies and asked them to stop. When they threatened me with the police, I told them to give the police my fucking number, for Christ's sake. When Natalie Bollinger, right before she died, she wanted to message me. She wanted to message with me and offer to meet up to put a stop to it. I made a prediction. I stopped at the Starbucks on the way to meet her. I said, I figured that there was a certain % chance that it would be Natalie, and it wasn't a very good chance. I said that there was a certain amount of chance that it was going to be somebody there to hurt me. That was an even better chance. But I gave the most chance to, it's probably going to be the cops. And I was absolutely right. After over a year of going to my friends and my family, and, well, I didn't get to go to my family, did I? They didn't give a shit. They never gave a shit about me, ever. My dad never gave a shit about me. He thought he could exploit me like Rain Man and make millions of dollars off of me. No. You do not get to fucking abuse me into doing whatever the fuck you want. I'm your son, Brian Schwartz, not your slave. Anyway, Natalie Marie Bollinger realized right then and there, when she was asking me about the assaults, she typed, "What assaults?" Well, question mark. How does she think people are treated when somebody calls them a fucking child molester? Why did she want to pretend like I was making it up? Because Tim Beeson wasn't telling her that he was calling me a child molester. Maddie Boa didn't tell her that she was calling me a fucking child molester. Maddie Boa didn't go telling her that shit. She just did it. This could have been easily cleared up. When Maddie Boa started claiming I fucking raped and molested 2 little girls in Virginia, those 2 adult women should have stepped up and said, "No, Sean did not fucking rape anybody. He was stuck in the middle of the fucking street with a broken phone. He left Virginia. We overreacted because we were fucking embarrassed, but we did not expect Maddie Boa to go spreading that shit." Meanwhile, I already knew what to expect. I live in the United States of America. Men are killed every day over false accusations. Men commit suicide every single day over false accusations. Then, after Natalie's killed, after I've been denied a day in court, after I have had my rights completely fucking walked over, she gets her brains blown out because she's a stupid idiot. When did she realize what a horrible thing she'd done? Why was she arguing with her boyfriend? Why was she having family problems? Her family problems are the reason she told me before she died. Her family problems. Her family, her family, her family. Natalie did all of this shit to make her family happy. Her predators. The mother who neglected her until she was carving up one side of her body and down the other. That's not self-hate or self-harm. We don't hate ourselves. We hate how we're treated. How you just tell us that we're wrong, we're wrong, we're wrong. We're wrong, we're wrong, we're wrong. A bunch of fucking junkies. A bunch of junkies claiming that everything in Natalie's life is all Natalie's fault because of her drug use. Well, guess what? That's what pushed Natalie to use her fucking drugs. God, I got fucking itchy everything right now. Natalie realized what a horrible, fucked up thing that she had done. When her friends were getting on there and doing the things that I said they were doing. When you pretend that a man stalked you, this is what people do to him. It starts off as he stalked you. And then they play telephone with it. Meanwhile, these are druggies. They're going to play sympathy for this. These are girls. They are going to play sympathy for this. Just like that woman who went to the gym, put that fucking camera there, and wanted to fake a panic attack because a man glanced her direction. She was trying to play victim because it's fucking popular. You know, there's a man in Florida who was assaulted by a woman. He never once fucking swung at her to try to fucking punch her. He stepped in on her when she reached for fucking things to hit him with. That's it. He put his arms up defensively. She didn't. He went up. He put his hands like this so that he could be as not intimidating as possible. Excuse me, ma'am. And bam, 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 bam! She's fucking beating on him. Who went to jail? He did. Natalie Marie Bollinger realized what a fucked up thing she had done. The day that I was served with the protection order. The messages between her and I show that I was afraid of her, and she fucking knew it. They show that I was trying to meet up with her at the police station. I was trying to get a stop put to it as two grown-ass adults. Just because you're embarrassed doesn't mean I have to take the abuse. You goddamn right Natalie's family is fucking embarrassed. They're not just embarrassed, they're way fucking ashamed. Jennifer Farina Bollinger helped Ted Bollinger to get away with all of his crimes. Jennifer Farina Bollinger and Danica Garner and Rochelle Shelley Campbell and Rose M. Kelly all took part in threatening, harassing, and intimidating me, lying to the public, withholding evidence. They stalked me, both before and after her death. Now, which individuals from that were stalking me before and which ones were stalking me after doesn't matter. The fact is, they were trying to fucking harm me until I reacted. How did I react? I told the truth. Well, at first I didn't. No, I took the blame for everything. I said it's all my fault. I was the bad guy. That's right. I said that. I typed that. That I got to be the bad guy this time. It sucked. It sucked that I was fucking treated that way. But I took all of the fucking blame at the very beginning. All of it. If I take all of the blame, will you ask these people to stop? No. No. I said Natalie was on fucking heroin. And she was. All she had to do was lie to you, tell you that I was slandering her, and that I was mentally ill, and that was enough for all of this. Every fucking one of you are pieces of shit. Natalie Bollinger was not a good person. She did not repent before she died. And you know what? She did the right thing. She committed seppuku. She just didn't do it with a sword. See, here's the thing about the samurai's ritualistic suicide. Now, this is history, and it's well known. They would take their little knife called a wakizashi. They would run it across their abdomen and across a particularly painful cluster of nerves, and then make a 90-degree twist and up and in. And because it's so excruciating, it was considered merciful for a friend or a professional headsman to take your head at that exact moment to ease your pain. You would be kneeling so that if he did it incorrectly, see, here's optimally how the swordsman is supposed to do it. He's supposed to leave a tiny flap of skin on the front so that your head doesn't roll off. Well, Natalie just had Joseph Michael Lopez put his bullet through her brain. You talk about how selfish it is to ask someone to kill you. I disagree. I asked people for help. Not for help killing myself. I asked for help stopping the abuse. When nobody cared, that's when I asked for help getting rid of my life. That's when I asked for help ending it. If you don't care who hurts me, you don't care how many times, you only care to look away and pretend like it never happened. You're just as predatory as any rapist. You're an opportunist. Your friendships are based on popularity and what can you get out of it. Your friendships aren't based on a sense of loyalty or right or wrong or anything even resembling morality whatsoever. You want to bust a nut. You want to snort a line. You want to fucking chug another bottle. You want to get paid so you can do it all again. You want to ignore anything that disrupts your party life or your endeavors to have that party life. You have any idea how many parents I know that don't raise their kids because they're too busy getting drunk and fucked up? All their kids know about them is them getting drunk and fucked up. Most of the kids that I know that I went to high school with, they complained that their parents were abusive alcoholics. Then they become abusive alcoholics themselves when they become adults. Amy Spencer's kids. I will always stick up for them and back them up about what Rayanne Ingersoll did for them. and to them. I saw Rihanna Ingersoll hit those girls repeatedly, but I couldn't get anyone to listen. Those girls didn't want to be with Rihanna because Rihanna was beating on them. Do I believe that Joshua Rayborn was hitting them? Yes, I do. Joshua Rayborn was putting his hands on Amy Spencer. She was screaming it. That's on video on my YouTube channel. That's right, I rescued Amy Spencer, aka Amy Clean Kingery, even after the shit that her and Rihanna pulled in Wyoming. The man who was smacking her kids around, according to those children, was Joshua Rayborn. But their mom would do it sometimes too. They thought their mom was breaking up with Josh and they were gonna start a new life together. Laura Nelson and David Nelson wanted to insist that Amy and Josh were clean. They were off the drugs. So I trusted them with my things. They needed those things to make money and swore up and down that they would be safe. I only got about half of it back. But I didn't have a safe place for it. I was stuck over at an Alcoholics. So that's what you guys don't get, is that without a friend or family member who cares, we're harmed a lot. There's a lady named Kim in low income. She was abused in the same way. So was a lady in the apartment next door to me. So was Bob. But Bob's dad died, so he inherited the farm. So even though he was trying to get something going against the housing there for the way they discriminated, he didn't have to because he got an inheritance. Then there's Kim, and same thing. Her dad died, and although she had some fighting going on with the situation with Cindy, see, that's what we all needed to work together. You know, if we work together and we protest. I was told that they'd already protested. They protested in Sydney. They protested how Cindy Taylor and Nancy, who ran the housing program, they protested how they were treated. Nancy investigated themselves and found they did nothing wrong, while a 90-something-year-old man slept out in his car because his apartment he was supposed to move into was fucking disgusting and it made him sick, literally sick. If y'all never been to Cheyenne Villa and Sioux Villa in Sydney, Nebraska, yeah, them places can get pretty fucking nasty. One of them used to be military barracks in World War II. I mean, if you've seen those things, it's all the same. It's a bunch of rows of fucking shit-ass buildings. By the time Natalie realized that I was telling the truth, it was too late for her to go back. By the time she'd realized that she was duped by her boyfriend, by her family, by her friends, it was because of the things that I'd let her know right at the very beginning. I blocked her when I left Virginia. I unblocked her in November to let her know that people were harming me and treating me like I was a child molester or a rapist. She didn't connect in her head what that means. For over an entire year, she didn't connect in her head that that meant violence, that that meant threats, that that meant me being socially isolated, separated from my loved ones, victimized and abused, prevented from having a safety network, prevented from seeing my friends and family, prevented from having happy moments with them. She didn't stop to think, all right, well, if I tell this little white lie because I don't want to get in trouble because I'm a heroin addict, if I tell this one little white lie that he stalked me, did she connect that, well, that'll turn into people playing telephone? I'll have to deal with people going, oh, well, you know, if he's stalking you, it's probably because he wants to touch your vagina. It's probably because he couldn't take no for an answer. It's probably because of all sorts of shit. Natalie didn't realize that people were doing that to me until she made that last public post, December 13th. December 13th of 2017. But it wasn't just on that day. It took a few days for her to connect the dots. I retaliated against the actual harm that I was enduring by telling on the actual predators. If I'm going to be abused and separated from my loved ones, separated from my own brother, because I have to be afraid of being assaulted by fucking meth junkies who want to pretend that I'm a fucking sex offender, then god damn it, I'm gonna fucking tell on the pieces of shit who are. I said I would retaliate. I did not say that I would kill her and her family. I let her know if she didn't come forward and tell the truth, that I was going to retaliate against Ted Bollinger and Tim Beeson, and absolutely I did. I told the truth about both of them. I told the truth about Tim Beeson fucking screaming at her and holding her down, telling her that she could have her dog back when she took him back. I told the truth about her boss firing her because she wouldn't sleep with him, and that she and her family were friends with this guy and his family. One of Natalie's stepmothers claimed that she tried asking who it was and Natalie wouldn't tell her. No, Natalie was just playing for attention. Maybe that really did happen, and maybe she lost her job because she was off fucking shooting up heroin. What are the chances that a heroin addict was off shooting up heroin? What are the chances that one of those doors she was knocking on door to door, she got there and realized there was heroin addicts there, went inside, had an orgy, and got fucked up and lost her job because of that? It's a definite fucking possibility. Meanwhile, she had boyfriends. She had sex. She did drugs and had boyfriends. Yes, she had sex. Yes, she got horny. Yes, she was attracted to a bunch of pieces of shit. But she thought I was this angel of sunshine come down from heaven because I wasn't one of those pieces of shit. Really? Cross me. Threaten my friends and family. See what kind of a piece of shit I'm capable of being. When y'all say if somebody hurt my son or hurt my daughter, ain't nothing, heaven or hell, gonna stop me from getting to the motherfucker who did it. Well, that's not how my parents think. My parents think, we did a lot of fucked up shit to Sean growing up because we were junkies. And if anybody ever listens to what he has to say, we're going to fucking prison. Whew. It's nice having parents like that. Parents who exploit their own children for personal gain. And then victimize their children for not being perfect, not being normal. When their children are victimized, they tell them they wanted it, needed it, chose it, or deserved it. It's your fault. You should have tried harder to be normal. You should have tried harder to fit in. Then, of course, they done the worst thing they could possibly do. They put them fucking meds in me. Oh, if you take these meds, it'll make you better. No, it made me fucking sick. The truth is, I did go to friends and family for help. The truth is, I did try to get help. But you don't care what the truth is. You don't want to see the evidence. You want to believe the predators and assume my guilt because I'm a male. You want to pretend that no woman would ever make a fucking false accusation. Well, guess what? Natalie Bollinger didn't make those false accusations. She only made one, so far as I'm aware. The only thing that I'm aware of that Natalie was accusing me of actually doing, instead of pretending like I might do, this is the shit that's fucked up. She pretended like I might do some fucked up shit. But the only thing that she said that I did was to stalk her. And then the stuff that she cited, she just told stories about things that happened. She didn't put any connection of when or where or any of that. She didn't have to. She was not expected to. They wouldn't accept my paperwork unless it had my predators' names, full names, addresses, and fucking phone numbers on. Meanwhile, they let Natalie's family intentionally gaslight me. The police intentionally assisted them in getting away with fucking felonies because they felt sorry for these fucking cunts. They felt sorry for Natalie's fucking rapists. I didn't say that I would kill Natalie and her fucking family. I said she either tells the truth or I will fucking retaliate. And I did fucking retaliate. I used her words to retaliate. And when I did that, on December 12th of 2017, after over a year of threats, harassment, intimidation, stalking, and fucking assaults, the very next day, she got on her post and she showed that it never had anything to do with right or wrong. Look how much differently she was treated for playing victim than I was for speaking up about being victimized. If a man speaks up because he's fucking assaulted and he comes to you for help because he was fucking assaulted, what do? You ignore him because he's being negative. You sexist fuck! Man, if you were gang stalked by a woman and her friends, I have only one recommendation for you. I recommend you find a way to end it. A way to end your existence. Before those people are allowed to torture you to the point that you do it anyway. If you let them torture you to the point that you're begging for help, keep in mind you are only going to be harmed. You are only going to be harmed for going for help. When these people bully you to the point that you want your life to end, you cannot say so, or you will be victimized for being honest, for saying that you're being abused to the point that you want your life to end, that you don't have the ability to defend yourself, that you're not allowed. I was fucking distraught and went through hell to try to see Natalie Bollinger at her request. When I drove to Virginia, I did that at Natalie's request. When I went from Nebraska to Colorado to see Natalie, because she wasn't going to get on the airplane unless I went, that was Natalie's request. When she said that she wanted to meet me, December 16th of 2017, that was her request. Those messages between her and I that none of your web sleuth groups want to show. It shows I did try to get help. I did try to get someone there for my safety, to bear witness, and that nobody cared. Chelsea Worsing, she claimed that she couldn't make it because she had work. So I had to go alone. Miss Peaches, a.k.a. Kayla Trujillo, that's the one who I walked over 100 blocks to get to her place so that I could get to that meeting in Boulder, so I could meet Natalie Bollinger at her request and put a stop to all the fucking craziness. You get to see the hatred on there. She was still alive when people were typing that hatred. All the things that she thought I was kidding about how when she claimed that I was stalking her, that people treated me like I was a rapist or a child molester. That they started making up all of this stuff, all of these excuses to fan hatred. Natalie got to see that happen on her last public post. All the things that I speak out about about you say, oh, he looks like a rapist, and that's magically good enough for you to harm him. He looks like a rapist. He looks like a pedophile. Really? Because I don't look a thing like Ted Bollinger. I don't look anything like Mark Richmond. I don't look one tiny bit like Robert Franklin Mornick. I don't look like Wesley Reiner. What does a pedophile look like? See, you all showed that you made your judgment calls based on looks. Oh, she's so pretty, poor thing. Oh, he looks like a pedophile. People should lynch him. Meanwhile, all of these agencies that I'm sent to about this abuse, they all tell me it's somebody else's job, and then they say that they did an investigation. How can you do an investigation when you told me it wasn't your job and refused to look at evidence? Meanwhile, I have to have someone to turn in the evidence with me so I'm not taken advantage of. And the amount of times that I've been taken advantage of for going in alone is a sure goddamn sign of that. I need someone who's not too much of a fucking pussy. Any adult who asks you to hide things, to keep secrets, is a predator. We learn this as children. Children. I was taught as a child never to trust an adult who asks you to keep secrets. I don't care about your secrets. If you ask me to keep your secrets, I automatically don't trust you because you keep secrets. Because you ask others to keep secrets. If you tell me that your sister is a fucking pedophile, I'm not going to keep that a secret. Not for you or for anyone. Now here's the thing is, if you typed to me that your sister sexually assaulted you, I've got something to come forward with to the cops, but they're not going to listen unless you come forward. Kind of like when these people, I explain to them, hey, you know what? The cops are fucking horrible. If you write a letter like you want to do, like you're telling me that you want to do, oh, well, I'll write a letter and it'll be okay. Really? When I was in Cheyenne, Maggie wrote a note. What did the cops tell me? That's on video, by the way. How do we know you didn't write that? Then there's the stuff that people said, oh yeah, Sean, I wrote a report. Where's the proof? One guy tried pretending that because he wrote a reference about who I really am, that was the same as making a report and going in with me. Like, no, dude, it's not. You didn't write down any of the things that I did to come to you for help about. You didn't write down any of the things that you did, or any of the things that you claimed you were going to do, or any of the reasons that you didn't actually follow your word. Basically, what you wrote down is jack shit. And by the way, they wouldn't look at it. They said, oh, well, how do we know you didn't write that? How do we know that's not some fake phone number? That's right. Big Jason Jepson had his number on his. Quite a few of these people did. But when I tried to go in, the police wouldn't even look at it before telling me, well, how do we know you didn't write it? How do we know it's not a fake account? You don't stop to look at how many fake accounts people have made to harass me since before Natalie was fucking killed. You don't stop to take a look at the fact that they made fake Sean Schwartz accounts to fucking harass people. For that asshole to call me up, I'm Natalie's boyfriend, I'm a biker, baby, yeah. You better stop talking about Natalie. No! The evidence shows that in November of 2016, this isn't even a month after I left Virginia, I had to unblock her to let her know I was being treated like a fucking pedophile. That I had to fucking go to Nebraska because of the abuse. Now, I didn't have any evidence that this shit came from Natalie. I only had evidence that it came from Maddie fucking Boa. That's the only thing that these people were telling me. Maddie Boa said. Now, rather than find out if this shit was true and looking at evidence, what did they do? What did the police do? What did the media do? They made me a fucking target. And that evidence that shows the reality of the situation was fucking destroyed. And I was trying to get help preserving that evidence because it showed the truth. But not one friend or family member ever tried to help me turn that in. They'd pretend to give a shit after the fact. Oh yeah, after you've gone out of your way to treat me completely like shit for over a fucking year for trying to get help. Then you're finally going to pretend like you're going to help? No, you've been pretending you're going to help. I expected this treatment out of Kayla Trujillo. It's the same treatment I got for a whole fucking year before Natalie was killed. I expected this treatment out of Derek Parrish. I expected this treatment out of Joanna Taylor Smith. I knew what to expect because I know these fucking junkies in real life. I have been protecting these junkies from predators who wanted to take advantage of them. The entire time I was in Boulder, I did that. You know why I did that? Because I was tired of my friends ending up fucking corpses because nobody actually cared about them. When I was a kid, same thing. We went through hell because nobody actually cared about us. I needed a hero as a kid. As an adult, I see no reason whatsoever not to be the hero I needed. I see no reason not to speak up. You guys make all of your excuses in the world that I'm being abused because I spoke up. No. I spoke up because I was abused. And these people kept it up. And all my friends cared about was getting fucked up and getting laid. Yeah, sure, Sean, I'll help you. Just make sure you bring over cigarettes. Yeah, Sean, we'll get to it after the kids go to bed. All right, Sean, as soon as we're done playing Diablo 3. Sean, I'm just really fucking tired. Next day, Sean, we need more cigarettes. You can't just hang out here. If you're going to be here, you need to contribute. Fine, I'll go and get more fucking cigarettes. Are you going to help me? Yeah, but like I said, you have to wait till the kids go to bed. I waited till the kids went to bed yesterday. But I can't say that. I can't bring that shit up, or people will turn it into a fucking argument like I'm a bad person for mentioning that, hey, you said that yesterday. I bought cigarettes yesterday. I came all the way here for help yesterday. You weren't interested in helping, you wanted fucking cigarettes. All these people who want to tell me how they can't help because they're broke. What did they do? They took advantage of me and my money. All of these people who have housing, who have incomes, who have assistance, who have loved ones in person. Yeah, Natalie realized she fucked up. If she were Japanese, well, that's where our societies differ. In America, you say, poor her, poor her. If she were Japanese, she would have admitted to what she had done, admitted that she had brought shame upon her family, and then done so. Culturally, it's different. I told the truth. I showed that I told the truth, but I wasn't allowed to show it in court. I tried to get help. I showed that I tried to get help, but I wasn't allowed to show it in court. I was abused. I showed that I was abused, but I wasn't allowed to show it in court. I was harmed and threatened by multiple peoples before Natalie Bollinger was killed. And I proved that, but I wasn't allowed to prove it in court. I wasn't allowed to show it in court. I wasn't allowed to go to court. I wasn't allowed to speak up in court. I wasn't allowed to face my accusers. I wasn't allowed to turn in my predators. In most places, I didn't even get far enough to get the paperwork before I was having my life threatened. Now, you want to say otherwise. You want to say that police officers doing their intimidation tactics because you're trying to turn one of their own in, and them standing around you and raising their voices and putting their hands on their guns. You want to pretend that's not intimidating. You want to pretend like that's not threatening a person's life. No, that is 100% a threat against an unarmed person's life. But unlike a lot of these other fucking idiots that ended up getting themselves shot, well, I knew when it was time to make a strategic withdrawal. I knew when I had to just take the abuse. We shall overcome, right? I have a dream that all humans can have equal rights. I'd say I may not get there with you, but the reality is that I won't get there with you. Hopefully, if my story hasn't been wiped from the internet, wiped from Facebook, When I'm gone, you'll go back through, you'll take a look, and you'll use my story to change the laws, to change the measures like you do for black people, like you do for women. Except this time, you'll do it for actual victims instead of just pretending it's a skin color thing or a gender thing. I won't get there with you. You see how many people and how popular pot has been for legalization the entire country wide. You see how many years it took to get that legalized. And you see that many of those people became complacent immediately afterwards. They got their pot so they can ignore the rest of the world now. You can get stoned and pretend that nobody is being raped and nobody is being molested. One woman told me that she was raped in a back bedroom at a social gathering. She said it was a party, but it wasn't. It was her and like 6 friends all in a house, all fucking stoned off their asses, and she got raped. Her friends were so stoned, they didn't realize it was going on, despite the fact she was screaming at the top of her lungs for it to stop. Her assailant put his hand over her mouth so that she couldn't fucking breathe. And when snot bubbles came out of her nose, he fucking smacked her across the face with it. You want to use pot as a coping mechanism, don't use it the same way as a fucking alcoholic uses alcohol for a coping mechanism. I can understand if you've got some anxiety. I really can. If that helps your anxiety, I can understand taking Zoloft if it helps. I can understand taking medications. I can understand taking antibiotics. I'm even willing to take antibiotics. The hospitals didn't give me enough antibiotics in Hood River for me to do anything with. They wanted me to go get a prescription that I didn't have the money for. That's the problem with being an at-risk adult. That's the problem with the mentally ill tag, is that you can literally victimize somebody into homelessness and then pretend like the person must be a predator because they're homeless. They must be a thief. They must be a junkie. Natalie Bollinger herself did, in fact, slander my name and claim that I was on drugs. She did that to try to retaliate against me for telling the truth about the fact that she was on drugs. It's just too bad that Natalie didn't realize what a fucked up thing she had done until she'd done it a second time. The first time she claimed that I stalked her. People did a lot of fucking evil shit to me, including police officers. Before I ever left Virginia, police officers had done fucked up shit to me. My first day in Boulder, fucking Colorado, after leaving fucking Virginia. Now, let's take a look at this. Now, on the one hand, you can pretend that I didn't try to get help in Virginia because they gave me a piece of paper with a bunch of services on it that I could go to, where the nearest service was 8 miles away. They promised they weren't going to impound my vehicle, and they impounded my vehicle immediately and broke my vehicle in the process. When I finally got my vehicle back and I tried to turn those officers in, and I got that piece of paper about all these services all over the place. Well, in order to get those services, I have to stay in fucking Chesapeake, Virginia. Do you think I wanted to be in Chesapeake, fucking Virginia? Do you really think that it would be intelligent for me to try to set up services in Chesapeake, Virginia, when two druggy cunts are trying to pretend I stalked them because the shit that they did didn't work out right? Alicia Bollinger changed the number on my flip phone over to the smartphone, the HTC smartphone that used to be her sister Natalie's phone. This thing was broken to the point that it didn't fucking work. Natalie looked mortified when she realized I had that phone. But Alicia Bollinger was insistent. She spent days trying to convince me that I had to have a new phone because I was worried about having enough money to make sure that my phone worked again. I was afraid that I was going to run out of minutes on my phone and wouldn't be able to afford it. By that time, I was severely fucking harmed. I went to clean up a hurricane, Hurricane Matthew. Alicia Bollinger is the one who got me that fucking job. We were friends. The whole time that they tried pretending that I stalked them, I was doing what they fucking wanted. When you tell a man to do something and then you pretend like you were stalked when he does it, that shows you're not a good fucking person. Matter of fact, you know what shows what a truly horrible person Natalie Bollinger is? After all that bullshit and playing like she's become a Christian, she didn't even have the good sense to repent before committing suicide. Where do suicides go, people? Suicides all go to hell. That's what we're taught. I don't believe in a heaven or a hell. I believe in the possibility. I believe in what I see. But you guys cover your eyes. Oh, I can't see anything. I can't see anything. Dumbass. I am angry at Laura Nelson for the same reason that I am angry at Natalie Bollinger. When people lied about me and slandered my name, and she's the only one, Natalie Bollinger was the only one who could have put a stop to all that. By taking it seriously. By taking what Maddie Bowe was doing seriously. By taking what Tim Beeson was doing seriously. I knew who Tim Beeson was and was speaking up about Tim Beeson and making sure that I spoke up about Tim Beeson because he was threatening to kill me and my fucking family, assholes. Do you think that's what he told Natalie? I mean, she was obviously stalking my Facebook. Obviously, she was not doing so with her account. The problem is that Natalie Bollinger was mentally fucking retarded. Kind of like Nicole Jarrell. I told Nicole Jarrell a joke that I heard once. Build a man a fire, he'll be warm for a day. Set a man on fire, he'll be warm for the rest of his life. Nicole Jarrell thought about that for 2 years. 2 years she tried to figure out what that meant. When she finally got it, she laughed and let me know that she finally got it. That's slow. That is very mentally slow. By the way, she's a therapist. She was a therapist with Colorado Coalition of the Homeless. She's one of 3 therapists that I had. And mind you, she was my therapist after she sexually assaulted me. When I went to her for help because I was being abused by Natalie Bollinger and her friends and family, Nicole Jarrell, who had sexually assaulted me, hooked me up with Jeff Ritter through Colorado Coalition of the Homeless, and he got me a hold of Kara Heller through Colorado Coalition of the Homeless, and they were supposed to help me put a stop to the abuse. Well, they never did that. See, with a friend or family member who cares and tries to help you turn this in and helps you to go through this court shit, you stand a chance. You know, I didn't want to get protection orders against these people. I had to. I had to get protection orders against these people because they would not act like adults. You didn't get what you fucking wanted, so you slander a dude's name. You didn't get what you wanted right when you fucking wanted, and you were embarrassed because the broken things that you forced a man to have. When those things didn't work right, do you fess up to the fact that that shit didn't work right? No. You were embarrassed, and that makes it okay to destroy a homeless man's life. Natalie Bollinger absolutely got what was coming to her. She absolutely 100% deserved the bullet that went through her skull. And in 2 different ways. First of all, when your life is complete hell, like hers was, you should have the right. You truly should have the right for your pain to end. I wasn't her predator. Tim Beeson was. Ted Bollinger was. Rose M. Kelly was. Troy Bollinger was. These were her predators. Oh yeah, sure, your granddaughter calls you up for Christmas and says in her sweet, innocent voice, tries to sound like a fucking mentally retarded 5-year-old. But no, that's not how she normally spoke. You don't stop to consider what these people put me through. You think that they should get leniency, complete and total leniency. You think that their victim should be punished for the things that they did. You think I should be punished because Matty Boa lied. You think I should be punished because Natalie Bollinger lied. You think that I should be punished because Alicia Bollinger lied. None of you cared who told the truth. To this day, none of you care who hurts me.